Hillary Clinton reiterated her call for a no-fly zone and safe zones in the Syrian civil war at the debate 2 nights ago. But we have a really damaging quote here from her leaked speech to Goldman Sachs about what she knows would happen in that situation. So if we do a no-fly zone and a safe zone, well, what would the results be? Let's listen to HRC from 2013. She says, Syria is getting more sophisticated thanks to Russian imports. To have a no-fly zone, you have to take out all of the air defense, many of which are located in populated areas. So our missiles, even if they are standoff missiles, so we're not putting our pilots at risk, you're going to kill a lot of Syrians. So all of a sudden, this intervention that people talk about so glibly becomes an American and NATO involvement where you take a lot of civilians. She's admitting that to do a no-fly zone in Syria, by its very nature, requires killing many Syrian civilians, because to do the no-fly zones, you have to attack certain places that happen to be very civilian populated. Any decent journalist would take this information and immediately pelt her with questions. Hillary, you keep advocating for a no-fly zone and safe zones in Syria. When you admitted in 2013 that will cause massive numbers of civilian casualties. Are you okay with massive numbers of civilian casualties? I mean, it's the most obvious question ever, right? It's unconscionable how ridiculous our foreign policy is and how they think they're nailing it. Like, the elites are convinced, like, oh no, we got this shit on lock. You got it on lock. CIA armed militias are fighting Pentagon armed militias in Syria. We're arming both sides of a conflict, dipshits. No, it's cool. We got it on lock. Anyway, let's send some more arms in there. Oh shit, our moderate rebels just gave the weapons to Al-Qaeda, which actually happened. Genius General Petraeus, fucking numbnuts over there, said, oh, I got an idea. Let's arm Al-Qaeda so that they fight ISIS, because they're enemies with ISIS, and they'll fight the Assad regime, and we don't like them either. Yeah, so it's cool. Arm the people that attacked us on 9/11. I'm sure that won't come back later to bite us in the ass again, because originally it was Ronald Reagan who armed the Mujahideen to fight the Soviet Union, where they ended up fighting us with our own weapons. This just happens time and time and time and time and time again. And then putting all that aside, you do realize the massive escalation you're doing with Russia if you go in that direction. So if you decide to do safe zones and a no-fly zone in Syria, and a Russian plane happens to fly into your no-fly zone, what are you going to do? Are you going to shoot it down? Are you going to start World War III over Aleppo? Are you going to send young men and women from California and Nebraska to go die for Aleppo in World War III? It's like none of this is thought through. And Hillary Clinton said during the debate, like, oh no, we need to do a no-fly zone and safe zones to get leverage over Russia. That's escalation. That's not leverage. That's, okay, now let's play chicken, and I just drove, 100 yards closer to you. It's like you're playing with the lives of millions of people, and you're just too arrogant to realize that. It's unbelievable, man. It really is. And then again, like, the concern over Syria. Oh, we care so much about the civilians. That's what it's all about. The civilians who are being killed by big bad Assad and Russia. That's why we're so concerned. Saudi Arabia, we just armed them to the tune of billions of dollars. They used those weapons to attack a funeral like 4 days ago, where 140 people are killed, hundreds more are injured, women and children dead, charred bodies, there are pictures. Saudi Arabia has attacked potato chip factories, open air markets. They've attacked schools, hospitals. The list goes on and on, all with the weapons we gave them. Over 50% of the casualties in Yemen are civilians. They're not trying to hide it. The whole point is to kill civilians. We're like, what are you going to do? So what? I thought you cared about killing civilians? Oh my God, Syria, the dead civilians. That's why we're so concerned. Okay, but the implication in Syria is what? I guess we have to do regime change. I guess we have to go in there and intervene and use guns. So that's your focus. Instead of all you would have to do in the case of Saudi Arabia is say, that's it, you're cut off. No more weapons. No more weapons, and we're going to sanction you. So to have a positive impact in Saudi Arabia, all you'd have to do is not even go in and topple the regime. Just say, we're not going to give you any more weapons. They're not doing that. They're not even discussing it. But for Syria? Oh, well, civilian casualties. Oh my God, civilian casualties. We care so much. Really? So why don't you care about the civilian casualties in the Congo or Burundi or South Sudan? Why don't you care about the fact that northern Mali is Al-Qaedistan? You care about the civilian casualties at Boko Haram? You know, they seem like a problem. No. Syria is a vital region of the world, and they're allied with Russia, and they're allied with Iran, so this is really more about geopolitics and having control. So everybody shut the fuck up. Oh, civilian casualties. That's all is Syria. That's what we care about so much. It's so fucking transparent. And Hillary admitted in the debate, this really is about the chessboard, the Cold War chessboard. That's really what the most of what this is about. Otherwise, by the way, why would the U.S., and certainly under Hillary Clinton's plan, try to align with jihadist rebels? I mean, jihadists are the bad guys. We all agree with that, right? Well, no, let's align with them when they're geopolitically useful. And I haven't even mentioned that in order to do safe zones and a no-fly zone in Syria, what does it require? Tens of thousands of ground troops. As she says, oh, I'm not going to put any ground troops in there. No, I didn't put any ground troops in. All I said was we have a safe zone and we have a no-fly zone, and along with that, there happens to be ground troops, but I didn't intend to only put ground troops, so it's not a lie. So scummy and so disgusting. And she even admitted, this is going to kill massive numbers of civilians if we do a no-fly zone. And if we do a safe zone. This was in the context of defending Obama, I believe, when he drew a red line against Assad and then he backed away from the red line. So she's out there defending him, saying, okay, come on, let's be serious. It would have caused a great number of civilian casualties if we try to do a no-fly zone and a safe zone. Well, now she's totally flipped on that. Don't mention the fact that as we pretend to care about civilian casualties, we would take more civilian casualties to do my preferred policy.